All right, so we're gonna do some retaining walls over here now. We've got this one that comes down, another one that comes over. This is actually a double, and there's a service access in here. I'm not 100% sure what it's for. And then we've got more retaining walls on this side coming up here. And because of how we've done our topography, in this case, I've got to rep it here, but it really depends on how you drew yours. So just follow whatever the delineation is from your taller to your lower and make sure you follow that. So I'm going to come into wall, architecture, and I'm going to switch over to the concrete with holes because pretty sure looking at the pictures, that's what it is. Before I change any levels, I'm going to go to pick line because most of them have lines that I can choose from. And now I'm going to go from level negative 10.6 up to level 0. There is no offset anymore. This is left over from the last thing we did with the water feature. Click apply. So anytime you're using the pick lines with the offset, you just make sure the dashed lines are going in the direction you want. And looks like it only did a small segment. All right, so I'm going to use the trim. Actually, I'll come back and do the trim later. I want to get as many of these done up front. Highlighted boundaries overlap. Okay, we'll fix that. So now I'm going to come in and use the trim tool. Clean that wall up. I'm not 100% sure what's happening over here. Oh, it looks like it went all the way. So I'm going to highlight it. And in this case, I'm going to find whatever this end is and just drag it over. Until I get to the edge. And so now I don't have overlapping geometry. I still need to come back in and create this little double retaining wall. So I'm going to go back to architecture wall. Again, I'm going to go from level negative 10.6 up to level 0. Now I'm just going to roughly follow this image. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. So I think I'm going to use the align tool here and move that over a bit. And then maybe just use the move tool. All right, so let me check my 3D, make sure everything's actually at the correct level. It appears that everything is. Aha, we have a gap here from the line selection tool. But again, I can use trim. I can click this wall and this wall, and now they're combined. So that's it for my retaining walls. Now I want to do sidewalks. I want to make them a consistent thickness. So I'll show you how that's going to work. I'm going to come in and do architecture, and I'm going to make a floor. And I'm going to make sure it's the 6-inch concrete slab. Now remember, floors go down. So instead of picking level negative 10.6, that would go down into the dirt. We're going to pick basement level. And as soon as I hit pick lines, it didn't freak out on me. Good. I'm going to hit tab, try and get the whole line. I will use trim later to clean that up. Let me undo because that's not actually a line I want. Do want this edge. So I'm trying to essentially select all the areas that are not going to be brick around the building. I am going to have to use trim quite a bit on this, just so you know, even with using tab. I'm going to pick this edge. And this edge. I'm going to end it here. And now is the point where I switch to my offset and continue using pick lines. And I'm going to make my offset 5 feet, 0 inches. Then I'm going to come in here. All right, that's working. You want to make sure you're in the correct direction with this. Now it's a ton of trimming. I'll clean this end up after the fact. I don't want these going all the way. What happened to this line? Ah, here it is. Let me trim that to here. Just to keep it straight for myself, I'm going to do the outer boundaries first. And then I'll come back and trim any of the inner boundaries. I need to do one more offset here. And I need to do a split here. All right, we're almost there. Come back here. That's fine. I'm going to use trim. All right, so that's all my outer ones. Now I've got to check my inner ones, which are a little harder to see because they're kind of on the drawing. All that's left now, close up the ends. Wherever there are ends. No, that doesn't make sense. I'm going to delete this line. That makes more sense. And now on the outside of this wall, I'm just going to come down a little bit and trim my last ones. It's a concrete slab. It's on the basement level. It's 6 inches thick. I go to my 3D view. You can see it wraps all the way around, and all our retaining walls are correct. All right, I'm going to stop this one here and then do one last one for all the other features that are on the site.